Good morning, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, morning headlines on March 9, 2023. Russia unlikely to make major Ukraine gains this year, U.S. intelligence chief. The Guardian, Ukraine updates, U.S. says Russia unlikely to make gains in 2023. Al Jazeera English, Russia does not want direct military conflict with U.S., NATO forces, intelligence report. NDTV, Russia, China anxieties dominate Senate worldwide threat hearing. The Washington Post, China will deepen ties with Russia despite pressure, U.S. assesses. Bao Fan, why do Chinese billionaires keep vanishing? Tucker Carlson, News, Fox News host calls GOP critics sociopaths, as White House says clips not credible. The Independent, Tucker Carlson, who passionately hates Trump, shows more Capitol footage. The Guardian, Tucker Carlson said he hates Trump passionately, lawsuit reveals. BBC, Tucker Carlson passionately hates Donald Trump. But that's not all. The Independent, analysis, Carlson hates Trump but needs his base, like the rest of the right. COVID-19 origin debate squashed, ex-CDC chief Dr. Robert Redfield claims. BBC, Fauci says he doesn't know if COVID was from a Chinese lab leak. The Independent, disputes over COVID's origins reveal an intelligence community in disarray. Here are 4 fixes we need before the next pandemic. TheConversation.com, opinion, available evidence still points to COVID originating from spillover. The Washington Post, a hearing on COVID's origins spurs call for rules to curb risky virus research. Plane hit by bullets and 2 killed in failed $32 million airport heist in Chile. Sky News, Chile airport authorities foil $32.5 million heist amid intense exchange of gunfire. The Guardian, Chile, attempted $32 million airport heist leaves 2 dead. The Independent, 2 dead in failed attempt to steal $32.5 million from Chile airport. Al Jazeera English, Chile airport shootout leaves 2 dead as $32 million heist thwarted. Tawang, the Indian monastery town coveted by China. U.S. black couple settles lawsuit over whitewashed home valuation. Moscow police officers who abused women sanctioned. BBC, UK announces sanctions against global violators of women's rights. Gov, UK, EU, UK sanction Iran, Taliban entities on International Women's Day. Al Monitor, EU sanctions Russian officials accused of systematic sexual violence against Ukrainian women. Euronews, UK sanctions global violators of women's rights. Ukraine and UN chief call for new grain deal to safeguard global food supplies. The Guardian, Antonio Guterres reaffirms UN's full commitment to Ukraine in Kyiv. Euronews, UN's Guterres visits Kyiv as crop export deal talks continue. Bloomberg, UN chief says extension of Black Sea grain deal essential on trip to Ukraine, video. The Guardian, Ukraine and UN call for Black Sea grain deal extension. Ukraine-Russia war news, live, Ukraine denies involvement in Nord Stream pipeline sabotage. The Independent, did the Ukrainians bomb the Nord Stream pipeline? The Spectator, Western officials play down claims of Ukraine role in Nord Stream explosions. Financial Times, a global mystery, what's known about Nord Stream explosions? The Independent, EU officials distance themselves from intel on Nord Stream blasts. Climate change, new idea for sucking up CO2 from airshows promise. What is the UN High Seas Treaty and why is it needed? BBC, why a new UN treaty to safeguard the high seas matters. The Economist, analysis, a treaty to protect the world's oceans enriches us all. The Washington Post, UN High Seas Agreement should inspire less war and more cooperation. Bloomberg, the climate emergency, protecting the world's oceans enriches us all. Tyre Nichols, Memphis police to be investigated as judge delays release of more video and audio. Sky News, Tyre Nichols, Memphis judge delays release of the arrest videos. BBC, Tyre Nichols death investigation complete, more details and video to come. FOX 13 Memphis, Tyre Nichols death spurs Justice Department police review. Fox News host Tucker Carlson not credible, says White House. BBC, Anderson Cooper says Tucker Carlson would have been wetting his pants if he was in Capitol riot mob. The Independent, Republican anger after Tucker Carlson calls Capitol riot sightseeing. The Times, why Kevin McCarthy really gave Tucker Carlson the January 6 videos. Greece train crash, thousands of protesters call for investment in transport system. BBC, Greece has derailed, tens of thousands of protesters rage over train disaster. The Guardian, Greek protesters throw fireworks at police during march over deadly train crash. The Independent, Greek transport minister announces safety measures to improve national railway system. Euronews, Greek unions stage strikes over safety following rail crash disaster. Campaign calls for gender apartheid to be crime under international law. The Guardian, UK FM, EU top diplomat urged Taliban to remove restrictions on women. EURACTIV, International Women's Day, the exclusion of Afghanistan's women. Al Jazeera English, digital freedom out of reach for most Afghan women. Gallup poll, Afghan women defy gradual death at the hands of the Taliban via secret laptops and protests. Turkey-Syria earthquake, children completely on edge amid ongoing aftershocks, UNICEF says. Sky News, earthquake damage in Turkey set to exceed $100 billion, UN says. Al Jazeera English, UN says Turkey's earthquake damage exceeds $100 billion. DW, English, Turkey-Syria earthquake, UN estimates damages of over $100 billion. WION, Turkey earthquake damage set to exceed $100 BLN, UN agency. TikTok screams of U.S. national security concerns, FBI chief warns. Sky News, Josh Hawley warns that China can access Americans' data through TikTok as he seeks to ban popular app. The Independent, Czech cybersecurity office labels TikTok a security threat. EURACTIV, China-US tensions set to be defining issue of our time, and TikTok threat is alarming Washington. Sky News, the war on TikTok is a distraction masking the need for U.S. privacy law. Snow and International Women's Day, Wednesday's best photos. The Guardian, Happy International Women's Day, a look back at over a century of the global fight for justice and equality. The Guardian, International Women's Day protesters demand gender equality. Al Jazeera English, this Women's Day, there is little to celebrate in South Korea. Al Jazeera English, why equity-based solutions are important for women at work. Weeping U.S. Marine describes Afghan catastrophe before Congress. BBC, veterans give searing testimony on U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan at hearing. The Guardian, veterans testify of catastrophic impact of Afghan collapse. The Independent, veterans reveal horror of deadly bomb attack on men, women and children at airport. Wales Online, surreal, Marine sniper describes attack that killed 183 during U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Mexico kidnapping, live, Gulf drug cartel blamed for Matamoros tourist attack as victims warning revealed. The Independent, a cartel's mistake may explain kidnappings in Mexico. BBC, 2 survivors of Mexico kidnapping recovering in U.S. hospitals. BBC, opinion, Mexico tragedy reveals reality. CNN, friend warned police Americans feared missing in Mexico. Russia-Ukraine war live, explosions in Kyiv as strikes across Ukraine cause blackouts. The Guardian, Ukraine war, Russian airstrikes hit cities across country. BBC, Ukraine updates, Russia renews major missile attacks. DW, English, Ukraine-Russia war news, live, massive Russian missile attacks set off air raid sirens and knockout power. The Independent, mass strikes on Ukraine hit Kyiv and knockout power in Odessa and Kharkiv. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.